Right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, want to give all praises to
Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Kakodash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. With the brothers here in GmsTampa Bay, coming to you again with another live lesson. Those will be edifying. Today's day being April the 20th, 2022, and as these days are going on, and prophecy is always going to continue on rolling. As we get closer and closer onto that day, the song that we're singing is going to come perfectly true, as it's been said. The prophets that have been before me, before the of old, prophesied against many great countries of evil, pestilence, and of war.
Somebody get that? Might as well start it off with that.
Yeah, we can start there. So when the prophets are raised up, because the Lord has an issue with that land. The prophets, when they're raised up to move, they're moved to prophesy, and when they prophesy, it's not a good thing, against a place. Okay, going to so-called America, ultimately the setup, it's been prophesied to be destroyed. Read Revelation 18 chapter, it goes to the rundown of the report of what happened, when this place is destroyed, because it's already said in the heavens that this is the judgment for so-called America, and it's playing out real time, So going into the prophecies is that, these nations around the world, that have been dealing with so-called America, as scriptures going in Revelation 17 chapter about the whore, that ride on top of the beast, they're going to start hating her. They're going to start not wanting to deal with her, and then going into these things that are going on around the world, these are a tell sign, as scriptures say in Habakkuk 2nd chapter, the prophecy is going to speak for itself, but again, that's why scriptures say then shall they know a prophet been among them, because we've been, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, our false nose on down, and saying it's going to happen, and now what you got to say now, because again, the truth is going to come and prevail, and that's what it's doing, man. The Lord not going to be found a liar, and that's what we see here happening right now, man. All right?
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Yep, so we think about all the great ancient empires. You think about ancient Egypt, prophets were there, You think about the Syrian Empire, Babylonian Empire, the Greeks, the Romans. There was prophecies about those places, and it's never good, because the Lord's not dealing with those kingdoms. He raises them up, as a show of his power to bring them down, and going to so-called America, it's the same thing. That's what it says, no new thing on the sun. The Lord's not dealing with so-called America, all right? And as you see here now, it's just like any other king before. Now it's crumbling, going to the wormwood, as scriptures say. It's just a series of events to ultimately lead to the ultimate demise of the kingdom. This place is going to go out with a bang, literally. This is all leading to next World War, World War III. But concerning the chip, that's why going to that G20 summit. Anybody got that SWAT 39? We say the pharmacy that Satan provided. Mm-hmm. You got people walking out of these meetings. The G20 summit is about the global financial issues. Trying to find sustainable ways, to run the world's economy. And you got people walking out. All right, which is all just a show. But it's really an omen of what's to come. Because there's in anything there's always levels. So these G20 summits, these leaders, they're just the public head and figures you see with your own eyes. So that's the leader of such and such. But behind the scenes, you got elites, all right? The elites of these nations they don't show their face, they don't show up in public, but they're the ones funding these things, But going to the New World Order agenda, all right? What's messing up is the lack of cooperation. These nations don't want to deal with one another. They got their own plans. They're tugging this way, tugging that way. And that's just a sign that these nations aren't agreed. That's what it says in Amos, the 3rd chapter. It says, "Can two walk amongst each other, except they be agreed?" So if you got niggas walking out, that means they're not agreed. So going to the fruit of that, what's gonna happen is they're gonna start physically fighting against each other. Because if the money ain't right, it's any situation. Think about marriages. When the financial situation is not right, that's the leading cause of divorces. Well, these nations get rid of divorce, so-called America. It talks about in scriptures, if a woman goes not the way you would want her to go, you give her the bill of divorce. So that's what's coming to so-called America. So-called America is about to get that bill of divorce.
Right. Yeah, because America is likened unto a whore, and they've committed fornications with her. The nations have committed fornication with Babylon the Great. So, now that they're waking up, that this hoe has been feeding them lies, you know, doing that pillow talk with them and sleeping with all these other men. And now they're like, yo, you know, this ain't, you ain't going according to the agreement that we had, you know. So, you know, now is that time to cut you off. But real quick before brothers get that, because, you know, we know that the Deuteronomy chapter 30 verse 7 says that these curses shall befall unto our enemies. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 54. It says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother. Okay, and that happened with our people. That still happens now where our people, we hate each other, man. You got our people killing each other out on the streets, and now we start to see that among the heathens, especially Esau Edom. All right, he's so to say, you know, his eye is evil towards his brother. Okay, they looking at each other kind of sideways. All right, so this is those curses falling upon the heathen, man. All right, primarily Esau Edom, because he did take on the book. He took on the words of the Most High, so now he's being judged by them. So these curses are befalling on him. And it says, and towards the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. And you see how Esau, you know, it says to the children, you see how Esau does his children nowadays. He don't even leave them an inheritance. He's like, y'all gonna have to work for it like I did. All right, so Esau is against him, against everything but himself. Everybody else around him is enemy public number one, and that's signs of someone that's backed up into a corner, man. When they're thinking, really a paranoid, schizophrenic, you know, they're just bugging the hell out, man. These elites. Okay, because, you know, the curses are falling upon them, their kingdom is falling apart. So now they're pointing, instead of pointing the finger at themselves, they're pointing the finger at everybody else, including those of their own household, man. Okay, so that's why they beating their wives. You got Edomites, you know, beating the hell out of their wives now. They're killing people, you know, to hell with their kids, you know, nigga shit. Now they doing it.
Yeah, we was just watching that video, you know, the Edomite was just shooting random cars, just bugging out, talking to himself. You know, on a YouTube channel called Police Activity. You want some entertainment, watch that. You know, but, you know, he was just in his own parking lot shooting at random cars with his camera, recording them, you know. And then they pulled up and blasted him. But, you know, again, that's a sign that he's losing it. You know, he's supposed to be up enjoying the delicacies of the labor of your forefathers, you know. But here it is, you're out here shooting random cars and bugging out, you know, and getting blasted by the police like Jake's getting blasted by the police, you know. But,
I got that Sirach 39.
Okay.
All right, it's the book of Sirach, chapter 39, verse 1. It reads, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies.
Yep, so that's, you know, going into, you know, that's going to say prophets aforetime are called seers. You want to go to the person that knows what the hell's going on. You know, you look around this earth, these people do not have the answers. Even Esau don't have the answers. Going into his elites, and like your brother quoted Jeremiah, doesn't know any more wisdom than demon. He can't get himself out of this pickle, so to say, that he got himself into. All the wisdom he has, all the technology he has, you know, this is, you know, as we speak, the greatest kingdom ever established, but they can't get themselves out of the situation they got them into. You know, there's no, and as for to say, there's no escaping this judgment that's to come. You know, and this is going to get worse. You know, it's going to start getting real personal, because when you people watch stuff on the television and think it don't affect you. Oh, gas gonna go up, whatever, you know, I'll pay the extra gas. But you don't understand how this is an issue, you know, and it's eventually gonna come to the squeeze part where you're gonna be begging, you know, for that solution. That's where that chip's gonna come out. People are gonna start robbing each other, killing each other, you know, because you people are not prepared. And someone that has not studied for a test, you can see the look in their face, decide, you know, going into the anxiety and, you know, the things that go in their mind is, damn, I'm not ready for this, you know. So what are they gonna do? They'll look at they old boy talking about, oh, I got this, I got that, you know, start counting his shit, you know, because again, that's the world we're coming into, the love of many wax and cold, you know, and this is all prophecy, you know, again, going into occupying in prophecy. The Lord, when he was on the scene, he said, occupy till I come, and going to those talents that he gave his servants, you know, the greatest gift is the gift of prophecy, you know. So prophesying is as the time goes, and as it says, you know, going to all things lawful, man, expedient. The expedient matter of right now is to prophesy, man, to tell people what's really going on, tell them the truth, you know. And that's why the family word is, it has to always be brought up, because the way out, which Saul's offered through the Spirit by Yahweh Shai, putting the Spirit on his men. All right, giving you the way, the old way, the narrow and straight, but that benefit is gonna be taken away from you. As Apostle Rama did that video, which we did the video a couple of days ago through the Spirit, that you've been warned. You've been warned. So the blood getting off our hands, wiping our hands clean, starting first Yahweh Shai, you've been told what's gonna happen. So when it does happen, you can't say I didn't know. Because again, you've been warned plenty of times, right? And then the ones going into the elect, who have been allowed to receive this truth, said none of them are lost. The only thing that is lost is you people. They received, they obtained the truth that set them free, and they're going to be physically liberated when Yahushua returns. So the things that are going on right now, people can't figure out. The Yahushua said, "I tell you earthly things you can't comprehend. How can you understand the spiritual things?" So when you see chairs popping up on the scene, that's going to be like the icing on the cake. That's why it goes into Jeremiah. It says, "Man's heart feeling for fear." What I think I'm quoting the Yahushua as well. I think it's Matthew 24. But man's hands on their loins. I'm thinking about times of trouble. Because there's so much going on that you haven't been told about. Your program is really going to crack. Because what you've been told and fed, it doesn't compute. But again, going into Lord's elect, all right, they've been warned, man. They're occupied in prophecy, the meditation of the word of the Lord. Because what's we say in the fear of the Lord is no want. So we need we have what we need. Which is the truth. And that going to that gift, that benefit can no man take from, because ultimately it's been predestined from the beginning of the world.
Morning, sir.
But there's more. You probably read the next verse, but get that saved, everybody get saved. We get some. You ain't got whether any articles, because this is painting a picture that the song that we're singing is accurate. The things that we're speaking is bearing fruit. Things that you guys are speaking in the world. Other so-called Israelite camps, might say, teach your Israelites, but as far as the condition of the battle, you're not giving the whole deck of cards. You're just playing your own interpretation. It's about partying, and it's about but again, it's not the time right now, because our people have to go through some very straight things, right? All of us, nobody's exempt. So everybody on this earth, as it goes into our temptation, it's gonna try the whole world. You're going to the world in Revelation 3:10. It's oikoumene. So the whole world's on trial right now. Because it's the time of visitation. And going to the time of the visitation of the elect. So they're going to shine as sparks among the stubble. And how they can do that, because knowledge and wisdom shall be just to be of that time. And it all starts with the fear of the Lord.
Yeah, I got you.
You got.
Yep. This is Saint Mark, the book of Saint Mark, chapter 3, and read a few of these precepts. Verse 24.
You had made mention about partying and people bullshitting. That's why Yahushua said, as in the days of Noah.
Right.
Because what was Noah doing? Noah was prophesying of the flood to come, the destruction. And what were people doing? Laughing at him, scorning, and going and partying bullshit. So it is no new thing under the sun. And Yahushua even told us, as in the days of Noah, man. So shall the coming of the Son of Man be. Okay? Just want to make that quick point.
And that was, and to back you up too, and that was water, right? When the Lord flooded the earth. Well, now the scripture saying Isaiah 59, the enemy come in and it's like a flood, man. So it's the same thing, man. The flood of those water will be these troops now, man. Okay, yeah, it's good to know you Israel, but the scriptures say judgment must begin at the house of Israel, man. He has a series of things, persecution lined up for Israel, man. It's more than party and bullshit. It's more than we know we're Israelites and let's walk around in the same color garment, man. It's deeper than that, man. All right. St. Mark chapter 3, verse 23. It says, and he called them unto him, and he said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if
and going to that parable, it all got set up because Yahushua was doing miracles, and they were saying he was doing it in the spirit of devils. Saying, oh, he's doing the name of Beelzebub. So Yahushua broke it down to him. He said, if I'm breaking down, because cracking the program, he's healing people, giving them giving their sight back, giving them the truth. So how is he doing that? At that time when Yahushua was on the scene, it was the Roman Empire. He's doing that's against what the Roman Empire stood for. But again, going into the time right now, because as going to the scriptures, we know that it can be twofold. you know, but the wisdom that Yahushua was speaking was so far above, you know, sometimes the disciples said they even felt afraid to ask him what those things meant, you know, but as going into these words, you know, as it says in Proverbs, you know, that light shall shine bright and bright to that perfect day. Well, that precept makes so much more sense now, even going into the time we're in right now. And of course, Yahushua would know, because going to be conceived through the Spirit, he was King Solomon. After our nation, after he passed, our nation split. You know, going to Rehoboam and Jeroboam. You know, the northern and southern kingdom splitting, and we ain't never been in sovereignty since. You know, we just been together in captivity. You know, so going into Esau, Edom, or any kingdom, you know, before, you know, and especially now, if they're divided, you know, they're not going to last too much longer. You know, because their strength, you know, it relies on the compliance of the order. You know, so if order is broken, then that what brings forth war. You know, and that's what we're singing is war is coming. You know, because there's nothing good that's going to come from what's happening right now. You know, this is just a build-up, and that's a ball of momentum that's going to have to ultimately explode, and it's going to fall on the shoulders of you regular people. You know, because at least they ain't going to be worried about what's going on earth right now. They got their bomb shelters. They ducked off somewhere. Got plenty of wealth. They got real wealth, gold and silver. While you chasing after paper money, you know, and you're going to be crying because your bank account's going to be locked out, you know, for that chip, because you can't use your funds unless you have the chip. You know, people gonna be doing bank rolls and they're like, well, we can't give you out cash no more. You already do that shit now. You know, try to get some cash back at the store. They gonna look at you funny. You know, try to break a bill, they're gonna be like, oh, we can't do that. You know, especially if you got a big bill. You know, so again, it's all setting up to what's gonna happen on this earth, man. The Lord's putting the spirit on Esau to do this. You know, and if you don't have Yahweh Shai hedging you, and it's time to come, you're gonna be caught up in this time to come. So if Satan's house is divided, and Jake's eating well off Satan's table, you know, the benefits and, you know, which, you know, going to the curses, we have to go to him for one of all things. But now we're not staying upon Esau no more, okay? Especially when that time comes, you know, because the elect are not going to bow their knee. They have the protection from Yahweh Shai. They're fed, they're protected, but ultimately it's going to boil down to fate, you know. But the people of our people that's in the world, they don't know no better, you know. Which, well, I wouldn't even say that. A lot of that thing came out about how many millions of Israelites, millions of people know that the Israelites are our people. You know, so Jake knows, you know. They know, but they don't know. It says ever learning but never coming to the knowledge of the truth, you know. But again, it's all going to boil down to the Lord's elect, you know. But going to the scuffle, you can read that precept, man. These two nations fighting, you know, because it talks about going to the king as a ruler is a wealth for the world. With paraphrasing, that's something. I think it's in Wisdom of Solomon, you know. But the ruler, man, all the wealth for the world depends on the ruler. So if your rulership is out of order, it's in chaotic conditions, it's going to fall down on the people, you know. And he wants to do that. He wants to bring order out of chaos, you know.
And back you up real quick, because you was mentioning, like, basically like when the Lord, you know, moved his hand over Esau, Edom, everybody attached to him, you know, go fall with them. That's why you see the division, you know, amongst Esau, Edom, because they destroyed, you know, they broken up. All right, so that's just another war strategy, another strategic move by the Heavenly Father, you know, infiltration. Okay, he's infiltrating the mind of these men. All right, the kings of the earth, those who sit at that round table, the elite bankers. All right, but this is Isaiah 31:3. Now the Egyptians are men and not the Most High, and their horses flesh and not spirit. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they all shall fail together. Yes, so the whole congregation is going down, man. Especially 2/3 of our people, you know, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native and Central American Indians, you know, that's cleaving unto Esau, Edom. If Esau, Edom not even standing together, how much more you in that day, man? And we witnessing it right now, because you're not invited to these summit meetings, all right? But if you got Esau walking out on Esau, man, imagine what the hell they gonna do to you, man. They warring with each other.
Yep. So going to that, you know, talks about you making that covenant with death, man. It's ultimately leaning on a foundation that's not standing too strong. You know, it's about to burst. You know, and Jake gonna be blown away, man. You know, and again, man, that's why Yahushua wept. You know, so Yahushua wept. You know, because man, like Jake, man, you know, if you would just listen, you know, you would have had a chance. You know, but a lot of our people they're just gonna be casualties of war, so to say. You know, a lot of our people are just gonna be out here slain, man. You know, because again, you know, ultimately the Lord blinded them, and it's because they hate toward the Lord. at this present time. They really just hate Yahweh Shai, so the Lord's gonna show hate towards them. You know, these are the same people that put up Yahweh Shai on the cross. You know, they said, "Let His blood be upon us and our children." That's why Jay getting gunned down as we speak. Right now, Jay getting blasted. You know, and it's gonna continue on until we really get out of here. You know, but one last time, the Lord's gonna use Esau to do that. You know, but let's go.
Real quick, Ezekiel the 7th chapter, it says the sword is sharpened. Okay, to back that brother up, the Lord getting ready to pull out the sword. He got the sword fervous for a last sword slaughter, man. All right. Okay, so once Esau come down with that great wrath, because he know he got a short time, Jake is gonna be finished out here. The pleading of the Lord is gonna be many. All right, and you don't have the understanding nor the guidance and the faith and the belief of Yahweh Shai to lead you. All right, through this straight gate, man. All right.
Yeah, because the majority of these people, like the brother was saying about the foundation, they've been lied to and deceived to building their foundation upon sand. Okay, which is that's the foundation of this world. Okay, and following after Esau Edom, who has the earth in his hands. Okay, you've been led astray. And real quick to back you up on a quick something that you mentioned about Esau and the Lord directing him. This is Proverbs 21:1. It says, "The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will." So the king being Esau, because he is the king of the earth right now, so to say. You know, the earth is given unto the hand of the wicked, as Job 9:24 says. So the Lord, his heart, meaning his mind, all right, there in the Hebrew is la'ab, okay? It's the Lord is directing him in the things that he needs to do in these last days. All right, so all these prophecies that are going to be fulfilled, all right, the Lord is pushing this Edomite to bring these things about, like the nuclear destruction, okay, Jacob's trouble. All these things are getting ready to come, and it's the Lord who's directing the steps of these Edomites to do so, man. It's not, because the way of man is not of his own, but the Most High who directs his steps, man. Okay?
Yeah, because just like Pharaoh in ancient Egypt, the Lord hardened him so he can magnify himself. You know, and those wonderful works came out because Pharaoh kept being harder on Jake, you know, not letting them go. You know, those miracles that was happening, you know, that would never happen if Pharaoh wasn't hardened. You know, so that's the same thing happened now with Esau being a Monday Pharaoh. He's gonna be hardened, you know, and the ultimate, you know, thing's gonna do is make the chip mandatory. That's gonna, hey man, that's ultimately gonna what? Blow this thing wide open, you know.
Real quick, Job chapter 12, verse 9. Who knoweth not in all these things that the hand of Yahweh have wrought this? When you go to that word, you know, wrought, basically going to make this happen, basically, you know. This is the work of the Lord, you know. He's working on the mind of these people, like the brother just read in Proverbs 21. All right, the hearts of each king is in the hand of the Lord, man. He's controlling his thoughts, because he's bringing Esau, Edom down to establish the kingdom of Israel, man. Start with Yahweh Shai Mashiach. So all these things must take place, man. Everything that will be opened up with, you know, Sirach. Oh, that was, you all know, with Sirach 39. Sirach 39 and 1, you open up with, you know, we got to be occupied in prophecy, man. Because that's how we know that we at the end of this thing. That's how we understand and are able to interpret the things that are happening upon the earth.
Right, that's how you measure the times diligently itself. By studying the prophecies.
Right.
Yeah.
One more verse, Job chapter 12, verse 10. And in whose hand is the soul of every living thing and the breath of all mankind? Hey, so no matter what, hey man, the Lord go bring these devils straight to him, man. To the king of terrors, man. Right. They ain't gonna have no other choice but to gather in the Middle East, you know, have their war, and they're gonna have to deal with Yahweh Shai, his only begotten son, man. And that's how the story just go in. There's nothing else for Esau to do, man. There's no other escapes.
Yeah.
No, there's no escape route, man. You go follow this plan the way Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai has it set up, man.
Can I, real quick, Isaac, you asked?
Just two more verses.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Mark 3 and verse 24. Verse 25. And if that house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end.
Yeah, exactly. And Esau's the end, you know, in this 6th chapter, you know, Esau's the end of the world, man. According to certain times, you know, when the disciples asked him, man, when is going to be a sign that are coming to end the world? Well, the Lord broke it down in Matthew 24th chapter, you know, and that sign is Esau losing it, you know, because he would be in power when the Lord returned, you know. And again, you know, going to Satan, dividing Satan, well, you got them Russian Edomites over there, but beefing with these so-called American Edomites, you know. They're the same household, you know, they come from Esau, you know. And then you got Amalek, you know, you got the Temanites, you know, these are all Edomite families. Edomite, you know, going to the sons, man, you know, that line, they're fighting against each other, you know. So what's gonna happen, man? They're gonna fall, you know. It's a simple equation. It never works out good, you know. When a house is divided, it's not gonna stand. You got Satan missiles, all right, for Satan, you know. The Lord did that, you know, and that's ultimately to my Esau. Here it is. He's in the height of his excellency, and he's about to come crashing down. You know, the technology things he has now, no other nation ever had what he had. You know, the blessing which he has right now. All right, but this is the same exact time where he's about to completely be wiped off earth, man. It's a rulership, you know, overnight. You know.
Real quick though, before you grab that, bro. You just quoted Second Esdras. He said, "What is the part and the sunder of time?" So, what is the vision? And, you know, the Lord told Habakkuk, "The vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak." But going back to that Second Esdras, the 6th chapter, Esau, the part and the sunder of times is that Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. So, how is Esau going now? By Esau crime, man. You know, by that division, what the brother Quan was just reading Mark. You know, Satan divided against Satan. So this is the end of Esau's rulership, man. And that shows you that we got next, but this is just ultimately prophecy, you know, coming out to play, man. Because everything the Lord spoke, it shall come to pass, man. So that's why we got to always just be occupied in prophecy. And prophecy just rolling, man. You go to the news, that's it.
Because that's where the money's at. Money is in prophecy. You know, you want to put your treasures up somewhere, put it in that, bank on that. If you want to make some money, you're going to that sure word of prophecy, man, is what it say.
Yeah, and that's the spirit of Yahushua, the spirit of prophecy.
Exactly.
So if you talking about you in the spirit of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, then you should be in prophecy if you're in the spirit of the Lord, right? So hey, if you're not in the spirit of prophecy, then what spirit are you in then? Because that's not the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Yeah.
You know?
People talk about preaching another Jesus. You talking about somebody else. You ain't talking about Yahushua, you talking about prophecy.
Right. That's when you hear these guys talking about there ain't no such thing as nuclear missiles. Right. There ain't no such thing as Jacob's trouble.
Right.
That ain't gonna happen. Well, what you mean? It's prophesied in the scripture it would happen. So when is it gonna happen then? If it's not gonna happen?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, what is this prophecy talking about? The glittering sword. What's that?
Right.
You know. See, but that's because then these guys are not in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You know, but. The prophets shall be known when those things come to pass. Okay? What you guys got?
Do you want to bring that up?
Yeah,
You got something?
Isaiah 13 and 9.
Ezekiel.
And Babylon, all right, modern day Babylon's America. It says the glory of kingdoms. Okay, Babylon being the glory of kingdoms. This is the standard, all right, of how a nation should be in these times. This is the glory of the kingdom. Everybody wanted to be like America. It says the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And like Elder Gabar once said, you know, that's one of the main parts of the doctrine is the destruction of this place, man. Is the destruction of Babylon the Great, aka America. That's you know, that's like Israelite 101. You know, we go out prophesying, and you'll be surprised if that's not mentioned in the camp. The destruction of what? Now the world, the scriptures say the earth abideth forever. Okay, but the destruction of this kingdom, of this nation, man. Okay, the excellency of kingdoms. That's, you know, that's ultimately the end all be all. That's the major prophecies. But as we know, you know, it's a build up to the ultimate destruction. But that's the end goal of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, is the destruction of this place, and that's what we had prophesied as they came out with Jeremiah 28 and 8. The prophets that have been before me, before they go prophesy against many great kingdoms. All right, of war, evil, and of pestilence. All right, so that's what we're doing. This is the prophecy, man. We just gonna keep speaking on that. That's the end all be all. It shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. How did he overthrow Sodom and Gomorrah? With fire and brimstone from the heavens. So the same thing is going to happen. Fire and brimstone in the form of nuclear missiles are going to rain down from the heavens. When we speak out of heavens, we're speaking about the skies, are going to rain down from the heavens upon modern day Babylon, aka America. You know?
Hey, I had an article. I
Hey,
read the article.
and real quick before you get that article, you just had Russia test launch a new missile today that can carry all different types of new warheads, more warheads than before, and carry hypersonic warheads.
I got you. All right, real quick, you just brothers speak on and bring out the precepts with it. But this off RT says Russia successfully test fires unique missiles. New ICBMs launched and final test before adoption by military. And we go to the acronym ICBM, it goes to intercontinental ballistic missile. Meaning it's going to come from one continent to another. All right, Russia's new RS-28 Sarmat ICBM was launched successfully from the Plastic Cosmodrome in the north of the country. The military reported on Wednesday, and today is Wednesday. The test launch was the first in a series of trials required for the adoption of the new weapon by Russia's strategic forces. The missile.
Finish that and then scroll down to Putin's quote right here.
All right,
after you get done with that one part.
All right. The missile flew across the whole country, touching down at a test site in Russia's far east. Inert warheads touched down in a designated area at the Kura training ground on the Kamchatka Peninsula, the military said. Let me read this next one. The new silo-based strategic missile is set to replace the R-36M and the R-36M2 Vovido ICBMs compared to its predecessor. The Sarmat can carry more weapons as well as be fitted with new types of warheads, including hypersonic glider units, the military noted. All right.
And that's the prophecy, Isaiah 13. Okay, where they shall climb the walls. Okay. That's the glider missile, man. The hypersonic glider missile. Which we about to read what Putin says, man. There ain't nothing gonna stop these things, man. Which is again more prophecy. Which if the Lord allows, we can get into that. But go ahead and get with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna read both of the quotes right here from.
Yeah.
The new system has top tactical and technical characteristics.
That's just Putin.
Yeah, this one.
Oh, okay,
Putin
got it.
did that one too.
Okay.
The new system has top tactical and technical characteristics and is able to penetrate all modern anti-missile defenses.
Able to penetrate all modern new defense systems, man. And America's defense systems is crap and outdated. They don't got no new missile defense systems. They've been trying to perfect the ones that they've been made, man, but they can't because it's a bunch of garbage. Okay, probably bought with Chinese parts. It's probably sabotaged, But nonetheless, these missiles gonna be maneuvering around these things. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like you pretty much to give an analogy. This guy's washed up, man. Here it is. You got new young players in the league now, and they balling. They putting up 30 points. They're in the talks of being the next MVP, the runner up. What they call it, rookie of the year. And this guy over here still sitting on that same old ass shit, man. That's pretty much like their old missile defense systems, man. You gotta go. It's new technology out here. These nations done took off on you, man. You got too comfortable. You got lackadaisical, man. Right. And now look, these countries, all right, they have military arsenal, all right, and they backed up by the bear itself, which is ultimately Revelation. What's that? 13, all right. The feet of it, man. So while you over here tweaking and playing games, these nations is building up arsenal, man, and they ready to use them. And the scriptures say, none shall miss their none shall break their ranks, nor miss their target, man. All right.
So it goes into that prophecy being made clearer and clearer. None shall break their ranks, and shall not miss their mark.
That's it.
That's it right there. Because they ain't gonna miss. Nothing can penetrate. The scriptures say, a sword shall fall upon them, and they shall not be wounded. So the no missile defense system is going to be able to intercept and interject, because it's impossible. We giving you the facts right there. So Babylon, who are to be destroyed, Scriptures say, so shall my words be that shall not return unto me void. Okay, so the Lord is giving these Edomites, these Russian Edomites, the knowledge to create these weapons that's untouchable, that can't be penetrated.
Got it. Real quick, a quick point on that precept you just quoted. The words, the Lord is the word shall not return unto him void. It talks about it, it talks about as the rain. The rain cometh down, it goes back up, not up. Well, when the missiles come down, it starts raining the missiles, they ain't going back up. Ain't nobody gonna push pause, time out, and rewind. Ain't gonna be none of that, man. It's gonna come down, it's gonna rain upon your head, man.
Hey, the scriptures back you up. The scriptures say, can one turn around a arrow
Right.
that is shot by a mighty archer?
Y'all been that mighty archer.
Yeah.
He stretched, is sent out by his right hand.
That's right, bro.
Bring out a quick precept. Since you brothers mentioned, this new system, all right, the system that America has is basically outdated. But now we see that these systems that Russia has, all right, these things are being made better and better, all right, for the destruction of America. This is the book of Ezekiel 21, start at verse 10, straight to start at verse 9. It says, Son of man, prophesy. All right, as we've been going into at the beginning, all right, prophesying. It says, and say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, say, a sword is sharpened and also furbished. Okay, so when you look at something that is furbished, it's something that is being polished, something that is being repaired, something that's being advanced, all right, ready, like basically like these systems, these missiles, all right, getting ready to come and destroy Babylon the Great. The Lord is getting these things amped up for the destruction of Babylon the Great.
And they're successfully passing the test too, man.
Ready.
That's it being furbished. They successfully passing the test, like it said in that article, man. All right, so so when it's coming down to, it's gonna be ready. It's gonna be ready to make that sword slaughter that it was tested to do, put to the test. All right, go ahead.
It reads on. It says it is sharpened to make a sword slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? All right, so hey, what type of mindset should you be in? All right, as you've been seeing these things going out, as you see the prophets prophesying these things that's coming out. It says, it contemneth the rod of my son as every tree, and he that giveth it to be furbished, that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened, going into these ICBM missiles. These things are being tested daily. All right, it says, and it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer. Okay, so hey, these Russians, all right, they getting ready to come and destroy Babylon the Great. You see them, they're advancing their technology more and more. And this is the Lord going into this, all right, well, basically, as Ezekiel was prophesying, okay, us in this stead too, all right, we're prophesying that, hey, the Lord is advancing these weapons, all right, to destroy Babylon the Great, especially as the brothers going into the article.
And real quick, if you've been paying attention, they already had missiles with these capabilities, the hypersonic missiles that can change trajectory and change course. This is even more advanced than that. So it's like, bro, like, what more to be said? Like they already had these missiles that can evade any missile defense system. Go show you. The Lord ain't playing, man.
That's what he said. I didn't come to bring peace. I came to bring a sword.
Yeah.
The sword is Esau, which Yahushua didn't bring a sword. He's a sword himself. On the right hand going to the word. But if you think about the spending budget, it's all towards the military. We think all that money's going towards. You got people in labs making the weapon that Esau's good at, better. Imagine if that money was used for agriculture. There wouldn't be no famines out here. There wouldn't be nobody out here starving. People got no jobs. Gas so goddamn high. But they're doing this because again, ultimately the bigger plan is Lord's making them fall upon themselves. The Lord would have gave Esau a solution, but he don't have a solution. That's why he can't. The Lord mocked him in Isaiah 47 chapter. Go to your sorcerers. Go to whoever you're gonna go to, and try to stop what I'm gonna bring to you. And these words every single day they start grabbing the back of their head. It says in Jeremiah, it says they heard the report of them and they waxed feeble. Because at first they ignored it. Then they maybe start mocking and laughing. And then now they're like, man, no, this is real, you know. And they're trying to go double time. You can see them trying to. They got a campaign going on now about, you know, really trying to blend the truth. And they run the same shit every year, you know. This is about that time of year they start doing these shootings, you know, such and such blasted this mall, whatever. You know, it's the same thing.
You just had the spring equinox.
Yeah, there you go. So them sacrifices, it's that time of year, you know. But ultimately, again, at the end of the day, they can't stop what's coming, man. That's why they're getting sloppy. You know, they're trying to, they're fumbling, and again, it's over with, man. That's why again, you know, trusting in Yahweh Shai is the only way out, you know.
Right. Real quick to back up the brother Malachi. Daniel's 12:4 says, "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased." So they coming out with these new missiles, man. That's that knowledge being increased. This new technology to avoid the defenses. Okay, so that they can hit their mark in these last days, man. Right. Just wanted to make that quick point.
Hey, just read that last verse again, Walker Shaw, real quick.
It's the book of Ezekiel 21, verse 10. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter.
All right, so it's been made ready for use. Go ahead.
Should we then make mirth? It contemneth the rod of my son as every tree.
And that's what I want to get, that word contempt, you know, goes to despise it. So really, hey, the Lord said he would, out of all the nations, he only known the nation of Israel. So he go to judge this nation for all our iniquities, man. Although all other nations will be ultimately judged, because this is Yahweh Shaphat. You know, he will plead with all flesh. Hey, but Israel, man, that's why you think them missiles go hit Babylon the Great like that, so this place can't be inhabited no more. All right, because this is where the greatest deliverance go happen at, and this also where the greatest destruction go happen at, man. So this is where a lot of people, a lot of jakes, man, is gonna get smoked at, man. That's why I said, should we then make mirth? This is Ezekiel talking to the nation of Israel, telling the Israelites to get right. Because these missiles, man, is it below the Lord, behold, the Lord created the waste to destroy, man. Hey, he finna not, this is finna be for the controversy of Israel, man. The same should know that the death by pain, man, to the point the Lord go make you submit. You gonna have to come back and worship the true power, man, because he set us up to be rulers, man. You about to say something, my colleague?
No, I was thinking, like, the Lord's jealous power, you know, so all the things that Jake be getting into in this world, man, you know, the Hellcats and chase and tell all day, you know, doing music videos, you know, following the truth to be rappers, you know, well, the Lord's gonna blow all this stuff up, you know, like Jake was murmuring in the wilderness when we left Egypt, you know, we had cucumbers and all this other stuff back in Egypt. Well, the Lord ain't gonna lead none of that, you know, he got nothing to go back to, you know. Yeah, this place gonna be burning for a long time, as what you say, you know. And again, that's just all showing how angry the Lord is, man. He's pissed. You know, ain't nothing but anger you're gonna see, you know, from the Lord. You know, this is a judgment from a higher power, man. We're telling you, Yahweh Shai. You know.
Yeah. This is Jeremiah. It's a few scriptures, but the point is verse 25. Pretty much going into, you know, how the Spirit switched over to us going into this the destruction of Babylon the Great by the way of thermonuclear destruction, right? Thermonuclear fire. This is Jeremiah 50 in verse 22. A sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? All right, and something that Brother Mike Allah had mentioned earlier, all right, through the Spirit, you know, these are, if the heads are out of order, okay, if the heads of these governments, all right, and kingdoms and countries are out of order, how much more the people? The scripture says throughout the 10th chapter, an unwise king destroys the people, man. So once it's at your door, it's been way too late. It was already set in the book. It was already talked about. People left out of these meetings, all right? People done made their decisions, and your life is just what the brother said, a war casualty, man. All right, so it's already been decided, man. Okay, so if they divided, if they out of order, how much more the average next door neighbor, man? All right. And real quick, so this is the point right here, Jeremiah 50 verse 25. The Lord hath opened his armory, and this article is going into one of the weapons of the Heavenly Father's armory, man. All right, it says, and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation, for this is the work of the Lord Yahweh of hosts in the land of the Chaldees, man. So once again, this is the work of the Heavenly Father, man. All right, this is not your missile. All right, these are the missiles of Yahweh Shai, and it's a part of his armory, man. One of his hosts. All right, see, bro.
Yep, because going into that hammer, you know, being kind of sudden and broken, you're gonna try to swing it, but it ain't as sturdy and strong as it was. You know, because you're going to where we'll get, you know, that 32nd chapter is because the materials of that hammer, man, you know, the iron mixed with miry clay, they're not going to cleave to one another, as scripture say, you know. So he going to swing it, and it's only as strong as, you know, that says your weakest link, you know. So that weak part of that hammer, all right, the clay, you know, it's holding down the strong part of the hammer, you know. And ultimately, the strong part of the hammer going to Esau's military, even that, you know, is not strong no more, you know. But going into the military that really is going to be used to fight against the Lord, you know, when he returns, and that's not going to be no good either, you know.
And real quick, man, you know, you can be the strongest military on the earth, but, well, for one, Russia, or you can be the most advanced military in the world. I'll say that because America military is not the strongest military. Russia is the stronger military, but one, Russia has more nuclear missiles than you. But if all your allies are turning their backs on you and they're deserting you, now all those extra missiles that they had that they could be shooting at your enemy, they're not shooting at their enemy. And even more so, Revelation 17:17 tells you that they shall turn them and burn her with fire. So they're going to turn and burn you with fire.
Yeah.
So instead of sending them to your enemy who has already more missiles than you, and that's not including China. I'm just talking about Russia. Russia and China already, that's overkill. But now your own allies, they that were confederate with thee, they had laid the snare for thee, man.
Yeah, because don't get it, man. These elites, they don't want the outcome that the Lord wants. You know, this place to be blown up. You know, that's why they want to have these elaborate new order plans, because they think, again, you know, their solution is, you know, putting that chip in everybody. You know, but they don't want to push the button, so to say. That's why the Lord said, was in Ezekiel, He gonna put in the heart, you know, to think an evil thought. You know,
38.
Yeah. So it's gonna be like, that's the last resort. Like they don't want to blow up the earth. They know what's gonna happen when these missiles start off. You know, they get the reports. It can blow up this and that much. It has this much pounds, tons of TNT force. You know, and they got thousands of these things. You know, and then they're just making and storing them up. They don't know why. You know, but eventually it's because they're gonna have to use them. You know, and that's what the Lord's forcing the hands of these people. Man, the Lord's gonna have a great show, man. We're watching in real time as we speak, you know. Get the thing. Unless you have some, I know you say you have
I was
some
gonna go finish the article.
about the missiles. Go finish the article and then we'll see what go from me.
I'm gonna read this statement again from Vladimir Putin again.
You had an article about the G20? You put it up. Yeah, get because they'll go with it.
It says the new system has top tactical and technical characteristics and is able to penetrate all modern anti-missile defenses. It has no analogs in the world and will not have any for a long time, Putin said. This truly unique weapon will strengthen the potential of our armed forces, reliably ensure the security of Russia from external threats, and make thank those who try to threaten us in heat of frenzied, aggressive rhetoric. You want to speak on that?
No, just, was that it?
Yeah, that was it for the last quote.
Did you finish that one?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, okay.
Read that one again.
Yeah, read it again. I thought you were still on the first one. I was like,
This truly unique weapon will strengthen the potential of our armed forces, reliably ensure the security.
yeah, see, this is those hooks being put in his jaw and turning him back, man. It's talking about it's going to strengthen him, man. That's him getting turned back to his old ways. That bear, you know, having that strength, that might to fight, man. And that's what these devils are doing over there, man. The Lord is building them up to want to fight, and it's going to be very soon. Something's going to happen where it's going to push them over the edge, and that bear's going to strike back, man. Go ahead.
Reliably ensure the security of Russia from external threats.
From external threats, and they all they want to say is the West or America. Okay, go ahead.
And make thank those who try to threaten us in the heat of frenzied, aggressive rhetoric.
Yeah, and that's why the allies of America are going to be like, yo, you fucking with the wrong one, bro. Like, what are you trying to do? Like, why are you trying to force us into this war? Like, what are you doing? Stop fucking with them. You fucking with us more than you fucking with them, because we the ones getting hurt. Look at us. Our gas is through the roof. We ain't getting no more resources. We're having to buy expensive shit from you now. Like, look, bro, you fucking us up. So they gonna turn their back on America, man. And that's why those toes are breaking up, man. That's why the EU nations are starting to hate the whore. Well, they've already been hating the Horde, but it's getting to the turn of the point of no return, man.
You look over and look at somebody giving a nod like, yeah, we gonna beat this bitch up. That's what they doing at these meetings, you know?
Yeah. That was it on that one?
Yeah, that was it on that.
Yeah. That was the point, you know. Go ahead.
It's the book of Daniel's, chapter 2. I guess right to the point, verse 43.
You probably start up, because it talks about the vision in there.
Okay, you wanna
Go to verse 40.
All right, it's the book of Daniel's 2, verse. I'm gonna start at verse 40. It says, "And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces, and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these."
And that's what America through the beast has done. They break in pieces many people. You stamp the residue.
Yeah, breaking them down.
Yeah. It talks about in Revelation 17 that the beast sat upon many waters. The waters representing people. Okay? So they've subdued the whole world, man. America has literally controlled the whole world to where the point to where if you don't do something according to how things have been established through America, then you're deemed an enemy. But you're doing something in your own country. But you're an enemy because you're doing something different within your own country. That's how much control this devil has over the earth, man. Through that iron, that strength. Okay, but we'll keep going.
It reads on. It says, "Shall it break in pieces and bruise? And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided."
Right, so that's where we are now. Okay, and this is going into the fourth beast, going into that Roman Empire system, which is back here today, in the former NATO and EU, and the so-called America that rises. Okay, so you have these strong nations, okay, backed up by the military. You got America, you got France, you got Great Britain. These would be considered the iron nations, the strong nations, the backbone, so to say, of this part of the statue, but then you have the weak nations, okay, the weaker nations of the EU and NATO. You got Greece, Belgium, these weaker nations, that ultimately they're supported by the stronger ones, and going into that agreement that they had, even going back then to the ancient 10 toes, these are families, that agreed to share their interests towards, the system, and that system now is ran by so-called America, So they're coming together, those agreements, those treaties, going to the EEC, the European Economic Community, the interest is because of money, so that's why you have the G20 summits, is because the conversation is about money, the global financial system, how it should be moved, what's going on, and the thing is, no one wants to deal with the dollar no more. So America's dollar no more than nobody wants to deal with, and you got that article, because again, this prophecy is as we say again, quoted, it's speaking for itself. So they're not going to cleave no more. You can force them to come together, but eventually you're going to start naturally separating. If you leave, you got some oil in your food, you got some yogurt, the oil is going to come to the top. It's going to naturally separate. And that's what's happening with these nations.
Real quick, something Yahushua said is Luke chapter 12 verse 51. Say, "Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth?" You see, and that's what the people are thinking. That one, that who the world literally calls Jesus comes back, that he's going to bring peace on earth. Okay, but two, people actually think that peace is going to come from these conflicts that are happening right now. Like things are actually going to get better, but it's not, because this is what Yahushua. Because it's what going back to the beginning of the lesson, the prophecies. Okay, the spirit of prophecy is the spirit of Yahushua. So these prophecies happening right now on the earth. That's the spirit of Yahushua moving on the earth, man. All right, so it says Luke 12 and 51, it says, "Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? I tell you nay, but rather division." So that's that oil separating from the water that the Lord is bringing, man. He's dividing everybody, okay, down to even the middle of the Lord. The Lord is dividing us from even our own family members, man. From He's dividing us from the world, okay.
Yep, because going into the New World Order, the whole thing is unity. One world government,
Right.
One financial system, just like the ancient
Confusion.
Exactly, it's straight up confusion. That's why I was going to, again, Tower of Babel, the Lord messed that whole thing up, People people mixing and locking in, and you know, they don't. The only way that's gonna happen is, you know, finish the rest of that Daniel, man. It's gonna be through Yahweh Shai and the kingdom of heaven, you know. But going into New World Order, you know, again, the compliance. You know, everybody has to conform to this idea, and no one's buying it, you know. So that whole thing again that these elites are having, you know, they're getting frustrated. That's why Revelation 12 and 12, we always quote, it has to be like every live show we do, because you know Esau in his frustration, he's gonna lash out. You know, he's embarrassed. You know, you think about how proud Esau is. He don't like failure. You know, coming back getting bad reports. You don't like hearing that. You know, and when he sees what he's seeing on the earth is his plan's not working. You know. So we're gonna have to be more harsher, you know. Again, being hardened, you know, these draconian measures, very harsh laws, you know, because people don't want to listen to them. Nobody's buying this crap, you know. You got, you know, again, these legislators, they don't want to pass this stuff no more, you know. These mass mandates and stuff, you know, they're pushing that shit behind, you know. They don't want to deal with that no more, you know. So again, something very, very dramatic is gonna have to happen, man. A super false flag, you know, a series of false flags, because Esau got to put out that fear, you know, because. Again, it's all about compliance. If your people don't fear you, if you're a ruler, you don't got no respect, you know, of the people under you. Again, that plan's not going to work, you know.
And Esau's been doing that through the whole COVID shit. He put that fear of death through plague,
Yes.
pestilence, and look how compliant the people were. People went and stayed home. You didn't really see too many people driving on the road, man. It was really the rebels who were out on the streets, still trying to go into stores, still trying to go to movies, figuring out that it was closed. But it was the majority of the people stayed at home, man.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people went and got jabbed up willingly, because out of the fear.
Exactly.
So now all these things that are happening, all these people are already in that mindset of compliance. So. All it's gonna take is something major, another major thing to happen, and Esau's gonna be like, well, look, he ain't even gotta fight the people no more. He ain't even gotta pass no more mandates. He just say, hey, you gotta do this, and people are gonna go like the sheep to the slaughter. Mm-hmm. As the scriptures say, my people are led as sheep to the slaughter, man. Mm-hmm. That's how easy Esau's made it. That's how easy he's gonna make the destruction, man. A lot of people are gonna willingly go to their own death. That's why a lot of people are going to go to concentration camps in hopes of peace, of some type of peace of mind, of food, safety from the chaos happening out here in the streets. But you're going to go in there and be sleeping with aluminum foil blankets, man, with no pillow, and getting military rations with no microwave and no hot water.
Go ahead.
Going back in that Daniel's 2, finishing off in verse 41, that says, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron.
Right.
For as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong.
Hey, and real quick, kingdom shall be partly strong. The iron, Germany has already came out and said that, hey, if we stop buying gas from Russia, okay, our economy will collapse.
Exactly.
Germany has came out and said that Germany would be considered one of the strongest European countries there is. Okay, and so
all that.
yeah, economically, everything. They make the best, you know, of everything. So with that being said, that's division. You know. And they said energy security. Okay, this is how Europe has its energy security due to the 40% of gas fuel or energy that they import from Russia. So they ain't trying to be weak. They ain't trying to crumble. So it's division being sown, man. And the Lord has it set up beautifully, because you're divided based off your greed.
Yes.
Your resources, what you want, what you need. All right. So the Lord has truly set you in slippery places, man. Mm-hmm. To the point you will have no choice but to separate. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. But to divide, but to draw the line in the sand, so to say.
That makes sense too, because you got these being the U.S. allies, but they constantly having proxy wars with Russia over and over. But you got to receive your resources from Russia.
Yeah.
But we constantly at proxy war with them. So now when we put the sanctions on them, now we don't want you to deal with them. But that's what you've been eating from the whole time.
Yeah, because basically you would finance the war for Russia.
Kind of.
You buying oil from them, you're financing them. So that's why they want to put sanctions on Russia, and they want people to stop. They want their allies to stop buying Russian gas, basically, so Russia can't have, like, Russia just created a new missile.
Exactly right.
How are they able to do that? Russia relies heavily on that's like the number one thing of their economy is their oil. Okay?
And we
Yeah, and wheat.
second.
Exactly. So oil, so they depend. So what they're trying to do is collapse the Russian economy by putting sanctions on people to stop buying that oil. Okay, but the EU is like, it'll take 5 to 10 years for us to separate from them like that, to stop being dependent on them. So, you know, you financing Russia by buying their gas, basically.
Right, and that's why these talks of just cutting it off, putting those embargoes, is ludicrous. A lot of these EU nations are like, this is crazy, but
It can't happen overnight.
yeah, but they're talking about doing this next week.
Yeah.
Some certain EU nations are talking about putting embargo on Russian oil, but you already got other nations like the video we were watching earlier already in line. Saudi Arabia, Turkey, India, China, talking about, look, we'll buy all that oil then. All that oil that was allocated for those EU nations, hey, we'll gladly buy that.
And then they gonna fall.
Yeah, and Russia's economy is gonna keep going up.
Yeah.
And I saw another article too. It said the ruble's about to catch up to the euro and the dollar, man. So
Why? Because people are now using it to purchase their oil.
right, exactly.
It's basically like the petrodollar now. You know? Yeah, the ruble.
They're trying to make it the world reserve currency. So what the U.S. trying to destabilize Russia, you destabilizing your own allies,
Exactly.
which in turn, the tin horn shall hate the beast, shall hate the whore. Thus with violence should that great city Babylon be thrown down. Like, it's just all strategy of the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. He's a man of war, man.
You gotta have a better solution. You can't tell people what not to do, then not come up with a solution. And then the solution that you present, you're selling them expensive oil. Well, you can buy oil from us. Well, it's more expensive to buy from you than it was from Russia. You know, so you you gotta understand, you know, politics, man. You know.
Yeah. That's another trait of a woman, you know, irrational.
Yeah.
You know, the woman's hurt, you know, so it says, a woman, no help, hell have no fear like a woman scorned, you know, what's it, misery loves company, you know, so that's what the so-called Americans trying to do to everybody else, you know. But that's why, again, they're going to turn around and as going into is going to blow this place up, you know. They're really fighting for stolen stuff, you know. Like, bro, it's close to William Shakespeare quote, no honor amongst thieves. Well, you know, they're trying to protect something they stole, you know. They stole all that land they're living on right now, you know. We're going into Japheth over there in the European areas, you know. Jake was over there, you know, all over the place, man, going into this land right now. It's all of a stolen stuff, you know. So what happens, you know, to a thief, man, eventually you get caught. You know, he's been caught, and that's why the Lord's going to judge this place, you know, because it's not theirs in the first place. You know, we'll finish that. Daniel, you say you had some?
Daniel's 2:42. It says, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another.
Yep, because that's what quoted Revelation 17 chapter. It says, what the whore that where the whore sitteth, the waters where the whore sitteth is nations, peoples, and tongues, if you're paraphrasing. You know, so, you know, we just read, they're mingling them, their seed, you know, it says, when happened second chapter, he put all to himself all people, you know, so trying to, you know, again, doing that hand joining hand thing, you know, but again, it's still not going to work. You know, all you people might be holding hands still, but it says the wicked shall not be unpunished, you know, but they started letting that hand go, you know, they're not as strong as they used to be, then saying that the only strong is the weakest link, you know, so one link is weak, the whole chain breaks, you know, so that strength of that chain, you can't hold no more because one person was weak, you know, and that's again is the cooperation of these nations of Esau, they're breaking up, you know, and this again, we should be rejoicing over this, Jake. You know, you should be sad, you know, and we're up next, man, because again, we're going to get to it, man. You know, the kingdom of heaven is going to come to smote the whole image. Is the weakest part of the statue, you know. Lord's coming at the feet to break all this stuff up, do this place a favor, and topple this whole thing down, you know.
it reads on. It says, even as iron is not mixed with clay, and in the days of these kings shall the Most High of heaven set up a kingdom.
Right, so in the days of these kings, you know, the Lord set up that kingdom. You know, as Yahushua said, the kingdom is within you. You know, don't come out of observation. You know, the kingdom is within the Lord's elect, men. You know, so the Lord set up the kingdom right as this place is falling down. You know, so the Lord's tipping the scale, so to say. You know, flipping this place right side up, because this place is upside down. You know, you got servants, rulers right now. You know, and you got servants. You know, well, you got rulers as servants right now. You know, according to the Lord's people. You know. But again, the Lord's gonna fix all this, man, and it's gonna be real quick. You know, people gonna fall in line real quick. People conform to power really quick. You know, the only ones that are stupid enough to fight against that authority that's coming. You know, you read about that in Ezekiel 13th chapter. They're gonna be dust and smoke. You know, zapped. All right. But I finished.
God reads on. It says, which shall never be destroyed,
Right.
and the kingdom shall not be left to other people.
Right. So, what is this about? Everybody can be saved. You know. It's not going to be left to other people, you know. So the Lord's coming to destroy something, and He's coming to build up something, and it says it's not going to be left to other people. Meaning you're not going to, you know, you're not going to be in direct benefit of that kingdom. All right. The only benefit you can have is your servitude. If you cooperate, you know. But even still, the Lord is going to put that whooping stick on these nations because they try to cut us off. In these G20 meetings, they're not talking about Jake. These summits, they're not talking about Jake. They're talking about, you know, how they can oppress Jake more, you know. How can they run the world more evil? How can we be more, you know, controlling of the people? You know, they ain't talking about setting us back up. You know, that's why it goes into us. We have no continuing city, but we seek one to come. And the Lord's setting it up. He says, it's His good pleasure to give us the kingdom. He said, watch, it's already set up. You know, so again, it's a very quick change in events gonna happen, man. A change of fortune, sort of says that turning the tables. That's what that means. You know, us, you know, being brought, you know, down to the bottom. Right, we'll be us being the tail. We're gonna be the head again. All right. You know, we're gonna get all, you know, what they say, luck. You know, you have a good day, you find a $20 bill. Everything's gonna go in our favor in that day because the curse is gonna be lifted up off of us. You know, you can't even skip wrong. Everything's gonna be going right. All right, for us. You know, because the Lord's gonna finally give us the power back. You know.
It reads on. It says, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms,
right.
And it shall stand forever.
Right. So the kingdom that's coming, you know, these kingdoms that were before we go into history class, you know, not even going to be worthy to be compared in the same sense. You know, it's going to completely overshadow the rulerships that came before until now. You know, and it's only going to get better. You know, and that kingdom is going to be forever. So imagine forever. You know, so-called America had its time to run. You know, came into its power. You know, Declaration of Independence, all that crap. You know, taking out Gad, bringing over the southern kingdoms over here, you know, struggle slave ships, all that for nothing. You know, all this Edomite history we gotta learn about. We're not gonna be having class about Esau's history no more. All right, you know, we're gonna be learning about Jake. You know, what we were doing, those would be party elect, starting with Yahushua, man, King David the 12. You know, in our reincarnations, man, the books that we lost. You know, all that history that is, you know, wherever it's at. You know, we got the little book. You know. The things that make us rise unto salvation. We're gonna have knowledge of everything, you know, knowledge of the elements, you know, really run the world in righteousness, you know, starting with the fear of the Lord. If our fear is gonna be on point, we're gonna get new bodies, you know. Esau in his lab, you know, making roach meat. This is what he does with his authority, you know. Nigga making roach cheeseburgers. Roach milk. Call it a delicacy, you know. Well, imagine the things we're gonna be doing on the right hand side, man. You know, this world needs a new management. All right, the earth's crying out. All right, and it's starting with the Lord's elect, man, sighing and crying for the abominations, man. All right, you know, and eventually the Lord's gonna hear our call. Well, He does hear. You know, but finally we get the green light to come. He says, "Behold, I come quickly." The Lord can't come quick enough. You know, He's gonna show up real quick. You're gonna look outside, the whole sky gonna be filled with chariots, man. You know, and right before those missiles blow off. All right, the elect gonna get beamed up. All right, of course the chips coming, then our expectations coming. We're gonna have to fight. You know, it's gonna get real strenuous. You know, we're gonna be straining. Think about when you gassed out, man. You know, but that's where the courage comes in. You fight when you have nothing left. You know, and that when you have nothing left, all right, the Lord, He says, gonna renew your strength, man. You know, we gonna never get tired. You know, it's gonna keep doing the work. We're gonna abide forever. Right, it's a bad dream gonna pass away, man. We're gonna be sitting on the thrones, you know.
Yeah, something to close out on.
Um,
Close out here soon.
Get that Proverbs with the righteous under authority. Proverbs on that. Unless you have something else.
Yeah, I just had something real quick. This is Matthew chapter 13, verse 17. It says, "For verily I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear and have not heard them." You know, so that's why it's important to cherish being in this truth, man, and understand these prophecies, because the men of old, okay, if you have obtained the understanding of the prophecies, man, you need to. That's something to give thanks unto the Heavenly Father, because men before us desired to see the things which the Lord revealed unto them. We're actually living these things out now. Okay, so that, you know, as we get closer to the end, man, you got to glorify the Heavenly Father even more. Okay, because you're a witness unto these things. Okay, you're leaving behind a testimony against Esau, man, witnessing the things that he's done on the earth. Okay, and you're gonna see his judgment. Okay, and that's one of the greatest joys of man can have, is to see the downfall of his enemy. Okay, what you got?
You want that Proverbs, brother? Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn.
Yeah, exactly. So the world's in a mourning state, you know, which, you know, people are lying to themselves. You know, it says in Isaiah 24th chapter, you know, the Lord's gonna take away the mirth of the land. But the only thing you people got holding on to is your NBA games, you know, whatever else entertainment you get yourself into. But other than that, your lives are miserable, you know, and you're gonna see how miserable it really is. You know, these truckers, they ain't driving their shit. You know, you pull up to the store, you know, shit's empty, all right? You know, the freedoms you have, so to say, you know, the liberties you have, I'll say, you know, it's all provided by the Lord, whether you know it or not. And those liberties and freedoms you've been given is gonna be taken away, you know. And what are you gonna do, you know, when you ain't got nothing in your fridge, you know? What are you gonna do when you don't know what the hell's going on? Your internet's cut off or whatever. All right, you're gonna line up to take the chip, you know, ultimately, you know. But that's all because, again, the who's in rulership is the wicked. You know, he's not finding solutions to make things better. He's finding to make it worse. He gets off by doing more evil. It says they encourage themselves in evil matter. So don't expect the devil to be nice to you. For him to let off the gas, especially the condition the earth is in right now, it's in perfect prime position for him to rape it. You know, he loves stealing, he loves robbing, he loves killing. But this is the perfect time. He's not. He don't hate blood. You know, he loves blood. You know, so that's why King David cried out to hide us from the secret counsel of the Lord, the secret counsel of the wicked. You know, which is going to the sword of the Lord. You know, because the sword is coming. You know, we're trying to warn our people, but Jake, don't take nothing serious. You know,
Until it's too late.
Until it's too late, bro. You know,
grandma gotta be dead, and then you like, nah, now you want to start converting, repenting, trying to find the truth. It's gonna be too late, bro. You know, Jay gonna have to see. It's gonna have to get gruesome out here for you, for Jay to get it. And then if you're not the elect, you still gonna be done, man. You know, it's to back you up.
Yeah, but that's why it's true to say every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess. You're gonna confess, all right, and you're gonna get on them knees, all right, you know, to y'all Basham shot, all right, whether you like it or not, all right. And if you don't, you're gonna be forced. You're gonna get your head chopped off. You're gonna fall on the knees, you know, and you're gonna be left as an example. What happens when you don't listen, all right, you know. But right now, it's what the Lord said: obedience is better than sacrifice. All right, obedience to the Lord, being faithful with a few things. He's gonna make us rule over many things. You got Jay trying to. Well, Ma'am did that video about 6 ways of income, you know, doing all these finagles and backflip tricks to make a couple bucks. Where the Lord just said, you know, hold fast till I come. The Lord gave us what we have, we just hold on to it, man. There's truth, you know, bring forth usury, bring forth fruit. You know, as the world gets more evil, we gotta be more righteous, you know, be more spiritual. We do that by praying, right? You know, tapping in, staying to the spirit, sitting close to the body of the brothers, you know, because it's gonna get real critical. Right, and if you don't got the edge of your about to shot, you're gonna get spoiled, right? You know, because these elites, they don't give a shit about you, and we'll tell you straight up, Jake. You know, if you don't got the Lord, hey, you out here, you know. But that's pretty much the point on that. We can close out. So I want to give our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors again to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings elect of Israel. So,
Shalom.